Hi everyone, welcome to today's episode. It's a special episode, different episode today because I would like to share a profound experience from one of my sessions with a client. I thought that nothing is better for you to understand what I offer in a session that's sharing a practical example, fifth line profile here. So I thought that it will really allow you to understand how your design can help you in your life and how using it properly and using the intelligence of your body, mapping your illness, disease, pain to your emotional blockages can really allow you to let go situation that doesn't belong to you / doesn't serve you anymore. um, so you can really move forward in life and create the life you have always dreamed of. So I recorded an interview with my client, but it's in French. So it's the reason why I am doing this episode today to share the talk we had together. But if you understand French, feel free to listen it or watch it on my YouTube channel, of course. So today we are gonna visit, have a look at the Anne Camille journey. We did like an interview for before-after session. And you will discover how understanding her design had helped her on her self-discovery journey, that she could break free from conditioning, unlock the emotional blockage, let go of old pattern, and improve her health. So first, thanks to Anne Camille for sharing her experience with us. And I am certain that it's going to help a lot of you listening today. So let me introduce you, Anne Camille. Anne Camille and I actually share a very similar profile because we have close birthday, and we are both turning 40 years old next week while I record this podcast. So she lives in France, she has 2 kids, and she's a yoga teacher on a human design level. Anne Camille is a manifestor generator, which means that she has a sacral center defined, color in her chart, and a throat center defined. So she has consistent access to this to her life force energy, workforce energy, to her creativity, fertility, sexuality. Has a manifestor generator. She is here to work, lots of energy, multitasking, multi-passionate. And she also has the channel 2035, which is busy bee channel, the channel of charisma, and she actually has the 20 gates in her sun conscious, so it's like her life work energy or brand. She is very powerful, and has a manifestor generator. She is here to be lit up by her life, in her life, to find joy, to be satisfied, because the non-self team is to be frustrated, with potentially a bit of anger, which is the manifestor side. But again, she's not a manifestor, she's a generator type. The manifestor generator belongs to the manifestor type. So yeah, in the interview, we come back of how knowing her design has, and knowing her energy type has helped her to accept her energy, because she had the tendency to, people had the tendency to tell her that she was all over the place and not starting a lot of things at the same time and not finishing things. Even when she was a child, like she was sharing with me that she was starting different puzzle, but we live in a world for generator made by generator, so the generator are here to do one thing at a time and they start and finish, but it's not how manifestor generator energy works at all. So it's absolutely not healthy for her to do one thing at a time. So she was sharing that it really helped her to take off the guilt and accept really how her energy works best for her above anything is whatever people are saying. And she was also sharing that with her husband, who is a generator. He also had to accept her energy because he had the natural inclination to do one thing at a time. But he recognized that he had to accept that she's multitasking, and that's okay. Peace in the family. So we also talk about her authority because she had a sacral authority. It's the way for her to make decisions aligned with the energy she has for and a path, because it will always guide her to the less resistant path for her on her self-discovery journey, for sure. So with the sacral authority, it's really having the answer in your body in the now. It's not like for the future, but you can ask your body by doing little sounds. So I always do that in a session with a sacral authority client, like finding the sound. Yes, no. Every sound is different. But it's really about finding yours. And it was interesting because Anne Camille was sharing that now she almost not use she's not using a sound anymore. She just feel the contraction of openness in her body. So that's really interesting to learn how to build a relationship with your sacral to understand the answer wow within you. We're talking also about her strategy, which is to respond to the world. So she has an open and enveloping aura, so she is attracting exactly what she needs. And she's not here to initiate at all. She's here to respond to what the world is offering her. So it can be an invitation from someone, like a projector. Projector has other specificity too, but it can be to respond to something she read in a newspaper or she saw on TV, or anything happening around her. She can respond with a yes or no with her sacral sound. So she was sharing that she really noticed how it was happening in her life, like making her life more easier for making decisions. And we're talking about her head center, who is also totally open, so she has no consistent access to it at all. And she could have the tendency, the conditioning here is to take all the question of the world, it doesn't belong to you, and overthinking. So using her authority in her situation, sacral authority, really allowed her to not think with her mind. So that's a really great thing. So Anne Camille, we had a first session last year because she discovered me by listening to the podcast, and we had a first session, foundation session. She wanted to know herself more and improve her health, and also find herself a bit professionally speaking. And so I'm just going to share the first part on the professional side, because you can see lot of different things in the design about it, but just a few points. So Camille profile, human design profile, is 2.5. So the profile is basically your public role, your superhero cap that you wear to fill up your life mission. And of course, it's here to serve other. It's how you're going to be able to serve other most specifically. So with the 2.5 profile, the Hermit Heretic, she's really here to work on herself, creating her own karma, but she is bringing a natural talent to the world, and that she's not necessarily aware of it. And it's the other who are going to help her to identify what she's gifted at. And with the 2, my Hermit, she's going to really need to isolate herself and to be alone, to recognize her talent and let others recognize her own talents. For her, the easy path will always be the right path will always be the easy path for her. And she was sharing that, a lot of her friends recognize her talent, that she was like, oh, really? I am good at that. So there is a lot of projection on there, but she is also line 5 unconsciously on the unconscious side. And this side is the heretic. There is a lot of projection too. It's a superhero with practical solution who is bringing who have to put boundaries because people are going to project their wounds. So you're also here to heal your own wounds. So like she quit her admin job years ago, and where she was with people all the time, and she reckoned how it was not suiting her. And with the second line profile, she also shared with us that in French that she really was working toward having specific moment for herself. She was explaining that there was work in her house, and then everyone was there, and she really needed to pay attention to have moment alone without everyone in the family. She was also feeling guilty because, she didn't want to be social at some point. And that's totally right with her energy. So as she said very rightly, it take off the guilt. Knowing your design, accepting your energy, avoid you to feel guilt of anything and really accepting who you are and who you are meant to be. And also we were sharing that she has a gate 5 of rhythm, so that is really important to her to follow. And in her family pentatype dynamic, had the energy of function in her family. She's at home. So yeah, she just take the guilt off her life, and I'm really glad for her. Anne Camille really wanted to explore and optimize her health. And when you come to me for a session, and it's what she was sharing, she had no idea that we will go that deep in her design, in the emotional blockage, and how she could really release what doesn't belong to her. So Anne Camille had developed diabetes and intolerance to gluten years ago. So diabetes is, when the pancreas is not producing enough insulin. Disclaimer, again, not a doctor. You need to see a doctor. You got to see a doctor. I'm just here to bring awareness of the emotional blockages and how your life event can affect your health and well-being. So in the human design system, the pancreas is located in the solar plexus, which is the center of emotion. And Anne Camille has an open solar plexus. It means that she doesn't have consistent access to it. She's going to take energy from other and amplify it, like 200%. So a life lesson here, it's really to learn what is personal or not, that the emotion belong to her or not. And we explore emotional wave, because depending on the gate activated in a chart, it can be tribal, and then you are gonna she had to give you an example, she had the gate 49, gate of rejection, which is a very sensitive tribal gate, and she really need to honor her own needs before others, and she had the tendency to do everything for others. And she also carried the individual wave of 55, which is also in her sun unconscious, like me. So the gate of abundance of the spirit, which is in a lot of mutation, in a lot of mutation. So it's a very moody wave, very dramatic wave of emotion, very acoustic, and she actually work with sound healing, which is very honoring her needs. So accepting that she can have mood in a family where all the emotions have been suppressed, where she was not allowed to express them, has been really, really life-changing for her. And I'm not going to go in the personal details here, but we talk about her past family trauma, and this is what we look at in a session, and it's how you can get rid of, first, be aware of your condition, of your trauma, of the emotional blockage, because I know exactly how to look at in your chart, and we can release it while it's fully accepted. I will come back to it. So that was a big part of our work together. And, you know, each gate in your design is linked to a specific amino acid. So we look at what her needs. She changed her diet. For it, she really needed more protein, and I always offer different packages of support. It can be with the food, it can be with colors, with essential oil, with herbs, and she was thankful for all the little tips, you know, that she can choose different options according to what suits her and what she prefers. So in the session, we went, we explored all her centers, and we had a specific look at her heart, with the H, heart center, ego center, because she had it completely open without any activation, so no consistent access to it at all. And, you know, this center is the center of your self-worth, basically. So she was undervaluating herself. She was comparing to other, not feeling worthy. And she could recognize it was just from conditioning and energy from others she was taking in. We really put a focus on her forces, and she had like 6 pull channels, so she has a lot of talent and reliable energy, consistent energy she can rely on. Just sharing few here, she had identity center defined with the gate 10 activated, the gate of loving yourself. So she forget about that, you know. The design has to be studied in the whole, as a whole, not piece by pieces. And she was reckoning that actually because she had did few research online here, so that the session linking everything together was another level for her. So, you know, forgetting herself was a big part of the session, and recognizing that she can and she has to be first and love herself, has really helped her. She shared also with us that she always felt like the black sheep in the family, that she couldn't. She had a very different opinion from her family, and felt like she was always stubborn. But actually, she had the channel 3828 from the spleen center to the from the root center to the spleen center, which is a channel of struggle. So this is the superhero acting against the odd, and her goal is really to remain herself in any situation, whatever the other thing. And it's actually our prosperity, because it's her Jupiter planet activation, and it's a channel of health. So a good fight. It's really to not be stubborn, but it's to fight about her own value and to stand for herself. So that really helped her to accept who she is. So as I was saying, there is a lot of way to support your life and your health in your design. So we look at her variable, and the variables are the arrows at the top of her chart, and the top left arrow is your determination, digestion. So it's how you digest food, the condition or / circumstances that you are eating food, but also how you digest life, because it's also your brain. And hers, she's first color, she's consecutive appetite. So she is really a cave person, there is not a lot of chance that she finds a possibility to eat like she should for her in the world that we are living to, because she has to eat things separately. So Haru, the founder of the Human Design, was even saying, you don't mix with the salt. So that's very difficult, extreme diet. It means that she has a very strong digestive system, but very simple. So she needs to eat, simply natural fruit, raw meat, vegetable, fruits, nuts, very simple dishes. So no processed food, no spices, and she was saying that having followed that has really helped her to regulate her insulin. But she also reckoned that it's not easy to do on the daily basis. So she was saying that she never naturally eat during in between meal, but actually her hour is on the left, so she needs regular food, not little of food all day long. So respecting her digestion, determination really help her to improve her health, because the food you take in, it's also feeding your brain. And then in human design, we always say, following your strategy and your authority and your PHS, primary health system, is life-changing. So yeah, we look also at her environment, which is Bali. So it brings confirmation for her, because Bali is acoustic, it's where there is exchange, and she lives in a house in the street where there is a lot of people passing. And I was giving her the example of, it's typically the person who goes at the terrace or the cafe and see other people passing. So she can retire in her house with the second line profile, but she has access to this valley environment, which is very good for her. So yeah, also for the work environment, it's really important for her to look for an environment like that. She was looking herself for more clarity. She was looking for more clarity on her professional path, and that has to be taken in consideration. We look also that if she was better in community or in network or in an autonomous, like independent person. And you can see everything in your design. You can see what your message is, what's your values, what's your ideal client, what's your niche, like so much. So yeah, this is what we look at in the interview, the before after interview. And she had very interesting question because when we had the first session, she was like, okay, now I'm aware, and what? And this is it. This is the 4 A's of life, awareness on your design, what the emotion, what are the pain, what's the disease. Then allow it that you have created that for a good reason and not for, excuse me a second. Sorry, that you have created that for a good reason to lead you at the right place. So allow it, accept it, that there is a higher purpose. That's okay, to really opening all the possibilities for you. The alternative are going to come to you naturally. So there is nothing to do. It just start with awareness, and it's what we do in a session. So yeah, she was really surprised that we can see all her health and emotional blockage issues in her design. She had no idea we could go that deep in a session. She felt free of conditioning, and she felt supported with all the tools she learned, because this is really about giving you the tools. You don't need me after that. You have the power inside yourself. Yeah, she really liked last one that I'm thinking about. She really enjoyed the fact that it take off the guilt as I talk about it, because my angle is different, because it's like thanking your body to release the energy. There is no guilt behind it. You created that, yes, once again, for a specific purpose. It won't have be anything else. It could have been. Is it the life you have created? So you can be created and thank, like, your body is releasing what is not needed when you are aware and you are ready for it. So thanks, Anne Camille, for sharing your session before after with us. Thanks for listening this episode. I hope you enjoy it, and I'm sure that it can help a lot of you. And if you like this episode, thanks for letting me a review, sharing, liking it. It supports my work and help other beautiful souls in their discovery journey. You can find this podcast on all the podcast platforms and on my YouTube channel. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to discover more and the future episode. Thanks again for being here. I will talk to you very soon. Bye.